Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. First of all, I am filming on my phone because I apparently forgot that I needed my laptop to transfer some of the files from my memory card to my laptop, and I forgot my laptop. And we are currently on vacation in Batangas right now. So I think by the time I upload this video, we will be back home. Anyway, alright, so these are all the books that I read for the month of March. Okay, so first up, I think my first prompt, was a beach on the cover, and I chose Beach Read by Emily Henry. And I have read one Emily Henry book before. It's Book Lovers, but sadly, I was one of the few who did not like that book. I didn't have any expectations, too much expectations going into this book, but I was pleasantly surprised to find out that I actually like it. I really liked it. So this was a good book by Emily Henry. I have a few more of her books, which, after reading this makes me not so worried anymore, because if I ended up liking this, I might, also like the other books that I got from her, by her. Anyway, this book is about January Andrews, and she's a best-selling romance author, and she just recently found out some important thing about her dad, and so she was going through this, I don't know, turmoil. She has to write a book, but she has writer's block because I think it has something to do with what's going on with her life at the moment. So she decides to go to her dad's beach house. Her dad's beach house, and spend time there, where she meets Augustus Everett, a school, not really friend, a schoolmate. A schoolmate of hers, a former schoolmate of hers, and who is also a best-selling author, an acclaimed author of literary fiction. I promise I read the book. So Augustus Everett and January Jones, they were schoolmates. They were former schoolmates, and they sort of, I don't know, from January's perspective, she thought that Augustus didn't like her back in school, so she kind of likes him, but she has this whole the impression of him, which is not really that good, and so they met. It turns out they're actually neighbors, as her dad's beach house apparently was next to where Augustus Everett lives. Turns out that they are both overcoming writer's block, and in order to, I don't know, they had this silly idea to sort of challenge each other to write a novel or a book that is not that is the genre that they're not really used to writing. Okay, so it's kind of swapping genres. January is gonna write a literary fiction, and Augustus Everett is going to be writing a romance novel. And Augustus Everett is this guy who doesn't really believe in happily ever afters, or true love, or sappy things like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. So yeah, if you're into romance novels and you want your romance novels to have some substance, I think this is a good book. And then after that, before Beach Read, I was already reading. I was already finishing Andy Weir's Hail Mary, this one, because I wanted to. My daughter and I watched it, and the movie. My daughter and I watched the movie, and she liked it so much. It was so good, she said. Yeah, I have some reviews. I have some thoughts about the film, but I really like the book. I rated this, I think, 4.5, 4.75, I don't know. But I really like this book. The ending was so unexpected, and I have a little bit of mixed feelings about the ending, but that's not to say that I didn't like it. yeah, my daughter wants to say something about the
The
book.
movie has a little bit of inaccuracies.
Yes, the movie has a bit of inaccuracy.
I don't really
And
like it.
and
It's okay for a little bit inaccuracies, but they did not want to die like that.
yeah, okay, yes. Okay, so I think the book is really okay. So the first few pages of the book, I wasn't really that hooked because I don't know if I mentioned this before. I'm not really. I don't usually read science fiction, and I'm not used to reading science fiction. I think, yeah, and so the first few pages of the book, I wasn't really hooked yet. But then, I don't know at what point it started to pull me in, but it did. It managed to pull me in somewhat early on in the book, not really midway, but yeah, it managed to pull me in. And it was funny. It's funny, it's sad, it's everything. I love it. Yeah, the movie, the film, however, I think the film, if you haven't read the book, I don't know if it would make much sense for the viewer or the audience, or if it's gonna be dragging, or it's just that my husband's not really a fan of, movies like this because he was snoring beside me, which I had to keep waking him up because it was so embarrassing. But yeah, the movie, like my daughter said, had some. Why do I feel like I'm being chased by the devil when I'm talking? Okay, let's calm down. I feel like I'm trying to. I think it's because I'm trying to finish filming this before my storage runs out. But yeah, so the film, I think, like I said, I think if you haven't read the book, I don't know if you're going to enjoy it as much because yeah, there are inconsistencies in the film. Like, for example, the way Rocky ate. In the film, he said it was beautiful the way he ate. But then in the book, he was very conscious about it. I feel like, I don't know if this is the one time, but this time I can forgive a film for not being consistent with the book because had they been, if I felt like the writers tried to make it interesting and not dragging. So there was a need for inconsistencies, I think. That's just my opinion. But yeah, it worked out great. I enjoyed the movie. My daughter enjoyed the movie. I feel like my husband slept for half the movie. I just think it's because he didn't read the book. He's not a book reader, or he just doesn't enjoy films like that. But yeah, I think it depends on each person's taste. But yeah, I enjoyed the book. Anyway, and then after that, I know I pulled in my prompt jar, my TBR prompt jar, I pulled a book with a number on the cover, and I pulled out. I chose Six of Crows initially, but then um, about what? About 18% into the book, or 15%. I don't know. I forgot how many percent I was in the book, but it was just a couple of pages or a couple of chapters in the book. And I still couldn't understand the terminologies. I didn't understand their world. I couldn't get a grasp of what their world is. What are they talking about? And I decided to look it up. Why is it that I don't understand? And it turns out that I had to read Shadow and Bone in order to understand the world building and the terminologies in that book. So I wasn't enjoying it, and I wasn't, I wasn't enjoying its full potential, if that made sense. But I just decided to put it down for now and choose another book with a number, still with a number on the cover, and that was the Second Chance Convenience Store. Now, I had notes on this, but I'm using my phone. My notes are on the phone, so I'm just gonna, wing this one. I didn't also have much expectations with this book because, for the most part, cozy books, cozy reads like this, uh, they usually end up just okay. It was nice. I enjoyed it. It was quite memorable, but it wasn't. Wow! I really loved it. Oh my god! Everything. No, I didn't have strong feelings for the cozy books that I used to read before, that I have read in the past. I mean, but this one, surprised me, pleasantly surprised me. This is about Dokgo, and that, by the way, is not his real name. He just took that name because I don't know if he does not remember his name or if it was just, I don't know. I forgot the reason for why he used this name, but that's not his name. Oh yeah, something really terrible happened to him in the past, and I think it messed up with his mind, so he cannot remember much of his past. So he became a homeless person living in Seoul Station, and then one day I think he saw a bag left behind by this old woman, and he got that bag, called up the woman, said, yeah, is this your bag? And they met up. Mrs. Yom, yeah, Mrs. Yom, she was surprised by what, not really, the goodness of his heart, or how honest he was, what a good man he could possibly be. I don't know. It's so hard for me to review books anyway, but I swear I read them. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know, for some reason she decided to give this man to bring this man to her convenience store to thank him for giving back her things, her bag, and to give him food every day. I guess she told Dokgo to just come by every day and get your food here, and Dokgo was like, I will just get the ones that are already expired. It's still good anyway, so yeah, no problem. And then suddenly one of Miss Yom's, she owns a convenience store, by the way. I think I forgot to mention that. She owns a convenience store, so she leads Dokgo there. What was Dokgo? He leads Dokgo there and tells him to come by every day and, get food here for free. And then Doko said, I'll just get your, expired food. That's okay with me. And so that's what he does. And then one day, Miss Yom's night shift part-timer suddenly quit because he got a good job, a better job offer. And so she's left without someone to manage or look after her store at night. And she thought of Dokgo, why not Dokgo, right? And so that's how Dokgo got the job as a night shift part-timer in the Second Chance convenience store. Is it really called a Second Chance convenience store? Now that I'm thinking about it, isn't it Everyday Convenience Store? Oh my god, how could I forget the name of her convenience store? Anyway, so that's what happened.
Chance.
Is it really? I don't think it's the Second Chance convenience store. I think it's just called the Second Chance convenience store because of the, the story. Her giving a second chance to Dokbo. So anyway, this is such a good book. I really loved it from start to finish. I loved it. This was my first 5-star book of the year. And it has, for every chapter, there's different stories that tells you the different lives of the people around the neighborhood and how they are related, or how they what do you call, interact with Dokgo, and how Dokgo was managed to somehow, I guess without his knowing, change their lives for the better. So I really loved this story, and at the end, towards the end, you will find out more about his backstory, how he came to be a homeless man in Seoul Station, and how he was able to overcome that sad part of his life. This is so good. I highly recommend, especially for those who just wants a cozy read, wants to sit down and get all this feels. This is the book. So yeah, next I read Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. This book, it has been hyped so much. I don't know what year it was. It was 2024, 2025, I don't know. But this was hyped so much. I had such high expectations for this. sadly, I know this is a memoir, and it's not necessarily, the reader doesn't have to relate to be able to relate to the author or to the story, I think. But I wasn't really impressed with it. I guess this is everything most people know about love. I found myself getting a bit really, I found myself getting a bit annoyed with the author while she was talking about her past. Like, how could you ruin your life like that? But she didn't really ruin her life. But why do you make such decisions at that stage of your life? But then I guess most of us do. I mean, I have my fair share of stupidity growing up, and yeah, but I wasn't really blown away by the book. I appreciate the recipes. I have them. Some of the recipes, I guess, except for the scrambled eggs, I have them bookmarked so that I can try them out. I guess, yeah, it's a good book. It's a good book. Don't get me wrong. It's a good book. It's just, I guess, for my experience in life, or the stage where I am now in life, or my experiences, growing up, experiencing love, and everything. Or maybe I guess because I'm already married, and I have had my fair share of ups and downs in relationships. I guess that's also the reason why I wasn't so impressed with this book. But if you are maybe a young, maybe in your early 20s, I think you would probably get a little bit of some lessons from this book. You'd probably be able to enjoy this book more than I did. So, yeah, we're not discounting this book. It's still good. It's still good. It's just that I wasn't really blown away by it. Now, okay, Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale. I also read this book for the month of March. And oh my God, when you read books, there are certain books. I know I've talked about this before. I'm not sure if I did, but on my TikTok, I know I've talked about this before. But there are just certain books that you read, and it ignites the female rage in you, and that's what this book did. I was so livid for both. What's her name? She doesn't have a name. She's Offred, for Offred, and for also, what's her name? No, it's not the wife, the commander's wife. Okay, so I felt I think I haven't watched the series, but I think in the series, the villain there is. I think there was more to the story. I think they expanded the story in the series. I keep doing this because I'm checking out in the mirror how much if my recording has stopped or not. But yeah, so I have not watched the series, but I think that they have that the commander's wife was also the villain there. I think they expanded the story. I don't know. But in this book, when I read the book, I felt so bad for both the commander's wife and for Offred. I felt so bad for all the women in this book, and I felt so mad. I felt so enraged. Strong feelings. This book brought out strong feelings in me, and oh my God, it was so devastating. I felt so devastated for these women, and what they had to go through, what they were made to go through. And yeah, if you're into books that are heavy, with substance, a book that makes you think, a book that makes you reflect, this is it. This is the book. But yeah, oh God, I really like this book, but it was so. And the ending it was okay. Like, it was an open ending, so I think there's a continuation of this. The second book, I have not read that yet. I don't know if I will be reading that. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this book, I recommend this to those who want to read something, something that will make you think, something that will make you feel strongly. And yeah, I can't with this book. This book, oh my gosh! And there was a passage in this book that I highlighted it on my Kindle, because I also read this in Kindle, about how women, since I can't find it here anymore. I'll try to put it here, insert it here. But yeah, it's about how women were raised to be, to smile, to be pretty, to be demure, to always forgive. That it has become something that it has come so easy for us to forgive, and we are expected of it. And that's just why. It makes me think, why? Yeah, I agree with that, but why? Why? And it's, I don't know, it was really heartbreaking reading this book for me, because I felt so much for the characters, both the commander's wife and Offred, and what they had to go through. It makes me sad, but yeah. And of course, I also pulled out in my prompt jar, Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoyevsky. As you can see, I have not finished reading it yet, but I intend to continue this for the month of April. And so far, I am liking the book. It's kind of like a thriller. I don't know. I have read classic books in the past. I have read some classic books. And they're actually, most of the classic books I've read, I've enjoyed them. I've enjoyed them all. But right now, at this age, or at this stage in my life, I am trying to read books with the intent of really understanding them, especially when it comes to classic books. I pause, I write down my thoughts, and if I don't understand, like, there are some things that I don't understand, and I would search it on Google, and like, what does this mean? What does this passage mean? What does this certain scenario mean? Because I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna pretend to be an intellectual. Or I'm not gonna pretend that I'm intelligent. I'm very intelligent, and I can understand Fyodor Dostoyevsky and all those classic books, because there are some that I don't understand, and it's Fyodor Dostoyevsky is one of them. But yeah, that's not to say that I'm not enjoying the book. I am enjoying the book. The book. I am at the part now where he has done it. That the crime, he has done the crime. The main character, that's, what's his name again? I cannot pronounce his name. I cannot remember his name. It's Raskolnikov. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, I am already at the point where he has done the crime, and I think he's going crazy. He's going out of his mind. I don't know if it's guilt or if it's just he's just mentally ill or something, because in the beginning of the book, I already feel like there's something wrong with him up here, but that could be just me. And also, this is the translated version by Constance Garnett. And on my Kindle, I'm reading the one that's, I forgot their names, wherein it was translated by two people. And that translated version is, to be honest, easier for me to digest than this one. But from time to time, I go back and forth. So yeah, still finishing Crime and Punishment. So those are all the books that I have read, and I'm still reading for the month of March, reading for the month of April too. And I hope you guys enjoyed my blabbering. I hope you guys enjoyed my blabbering. I don't know if I made sense. If not, I'm probably not gonna publish this, and if I did, then oh, thank God. Anyway, oh my gosh, I look so well. But yes, so those are all the books that I've read for the month of March, and I cannot wait to share with you guys my TBR for the month of April, which I will be uploading, I guess, after this video. That is all, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for putting up with my blabbering, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye!